Hey everyone, I am Tanu, your American bestie, and welcome to the second episode of my new series. This week, I will uncover the second myth about living your American dream. So, here's the question for you. If you make $5,000 a month, what kind of life can you actually live in America's most populated and biggest cities? I am very curious to find out. I live in Dallas, Texas, and I always hear people say that location makes all the difference. So I thought, why not to dig deeper and find out for myself? Today, I'm doing a friendly lifestyle comparison between Dallas, New York, and Los Angeles. I know everyone's favorite cities. And how far does $5,000 a month stretch in terms of rent, food, and fun? By the end of this video, you will know which city gives you that breathing room and which one will make your wallet unhappy. Let's start right here in Dallas, Texas, the heart of the South Central US. If you are taking home about $5,000 a month as a bachelor, you can honestly live a pretty comfortable life here. And since these expenses can vary widely depending on everyone's interests and expenditure, I'm just going to keep it simple so you can just get an idea in case what your minimum and maximum could look like. So in Dallas, I live in a very populated area which has like grocery stores and malls in like a mile's radius and tons of restaurants to go out and a lot of corporate offices as well. So here on an average, one bed apartment would be around $1,500 a month and two bedroom apartment would be on an average $2,000 a month. So I think it's a pretty good price. And then for groceries and utilities, I think you should be able to cover everything under $600 a month for one person. Even if you want to go fancy, you can extend it a little bit, around $800, and you should be good. Gas here costs around $3.20 a gallon on average right now. So you can say travel maybe around $100 maximum. And even if you go out for weekend plans like eating out for a movie, maybe a drive to Austin, you are looking at somewhere around $100 to $200 on that weekend. Yes, I was living in the mountains before, and when I moved, I felt like, I had an upgrade because I was living in a studio apartment in a basement which was like $1,400, but here I had a balcony and a very nice view and a golf course. I think people think sometimes that you need to live on the coast to live comfortably and a good life, but I think not. I wouldn't say that's the case in Dallas. Like, I'm living right in the center of the city, and it's not as expensive. And I think even if you take another $1,000 for any sort of car loans or credit card payments or those gym memberships and Netflix subscriptions, etc., I think you can still save more than like $1,000 per month if you budget yourself loosely. Now let's jump to the East Coast, New York City, the city of lights and bagels, and I'm hoping to see some shocking numbers because it's Manhattan. That's where most of the company headquarters and residents are. So let's see what Google says. The cost of Manhattan in New York. It says one bedroom apartment is about $4,000, and then groceries is 18% more expensive. Utilities is 15% more expensive. The cost of living is 130% higher than the national average. Oh my god, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting like that big of a difference. Let's actually check it out. Okay, so let's see on apartments.com. It's showing $4,000 for a studio and $6,000 for a one bedroom. That is insane. Okay, I want to check one more thing. On Rent Cafe, it says if you live in Dallas and you live in Manhattan, you need at least $226,000 to maintain that same lifestyle, which is 127% higher. That is unbelievable. So if your budget is $5,000 a month, that is more than 70% is going into rent. I think the only thing I can assume at this point is that people in New York are earning more than $5,000 a month, because then I don't see how after spending $4,000 in rent, which is like the bare minimum, you are spending at least $500 to $700 in groceries and utilities, and then you're only left with like $300. I don't think that's like enough money for anything else. Like, what about your debt, your loans, your insurance? I think maybe like people really love the New York energy though, but I don't want to be like so stressed and be left with nothing at the end of the month. I think we can all see the truth that your spending power matters more, than your paycheck as well. But yeah, I think in New York you will never like run out of experiences of like culture and nightlife. You might not have any savings at all, but again, you'll have, I think, good pizza at least. Yeah, so I would love to know if people are watching from like New York, or if they know more about these cities. Like, how do people actually manage their expenses, and is actually worth it, like staying in cities like New York or Los Angeles? Or okay, now heading west, Los Angeles, California. The glamorous, the sunny, the beachy vibe. I'm assuming that's also expensive, but maybe not as painfully expensive as New York if you're planning smart. So let's see what Google says. So Google says a single person can live comfortably for around $76,000. The average rent is $2,500 to $3,000 per month, and the grocery is 9% higher than national average, and utilities is 7% higher than national average. Transportation is 37% higher than the national average. Wow. Rent Cafe says that if you are living in Dallas versus Los Angeles, you need $146,000, which is 47% higher to maintain the same standard of living. Wow, I feel really happy that I'm staying in Dallas. So that means for rent, you will be paying around $2,800 to $3,000, utilities, groceries, maybe around $600 to $700, and then gas is $4.60 per gallon. Ooh, that's expensive. So out of the $5,000, I guess you'll be spending somewhere around $4,000 to $4,500, and maybe save about $500 to $600. LA is luxury, so I guess you just pay for, the weather. But I've heard that the vibe is very like addictive. Once you stay in LA, you don't like staying anywhere else because of the nature and good food and like creativity and all of that. I think it's a good lifestyle, but again, it really like depends on you. What do you value more, or like nature and that kind of a lifestyle, or just your bank balance? So it's up to you. So I think this is the big comparison: 3 cities, 3 realities. So yeah, comment below and tell me like which city would you prefer to live in, and are you okay like not saving anything but living in a nice city that gives you something more than just money? I really think that like every city comes with a trade-off. So Dallas might not have that Broadway and that beach, but I think it's a good city for a newcomer. If you just want to settle slowly and breathe and enjoy that steady pace in life. So I think with NYC, it's that prestige, that pressure, that diversity and culture, and I think you see a lot more, and like you live a little bit more. I don't know, I've not been to New York yet, but I plan to this year, so I can share more then. New York definitely for people who love that adrenaline rush and who can just go all out, and LA is definitely for that nature and that sunset. So it's not about like which city is the best, it's really about like which one fits your version of the American dream, and that's one that you should go with. I think when I moved to the US, I thought making it meant like living somewhere famous, but I've lived in different cities now, and I think every city has to offer something unique, and I think I love like where I'm living right now. It's really nice. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you found something helpful, share what was it. Next week I'll share episode number 3 about the American Dream reality check. So keep a lookout for that, and don't forget to subscribe. Your American Bestie, your friendly guide to life, money, and dreams in the US. See you in the next one. Bye.